He walked into the courtroom like he owned it, a badge on his chest, smug smirk on his face, and years of unchecked power behind him. But what Officer Brent Holloway didn't know was that the woman he tried to crush was no ordinary defendant. She had secrets, deadly official, classified secrets. The courtroom thought she was just another woman in a suit, but by the end of the day, everyone's judge, jury, and most of all, Brent would never forget her name. If you're ready for a story packed with courtroom revenge, power plays, and a twist that will leave you breathless, hit that subscribe button now, because this one, you won't see it coming. For over a decade, Officer Brent Holloway had patrolled the streets of Glendale with an iron grip. To his colleagues, he was sharp, disciplined, and a man who got results. But to the citizens, especially the ones who dared to speak up, he was a nightmare in uniform. Countless complaints of abuse, intimidation, planted evidence, and false charges were either lost in the system or quietly buried. Why? Because Brent had friends, high up, the kind that erased files before they even saw the light of a courtroom. He thought his badge gave him immunity. He thought it made him untouchable. And for years, it did. That is, until the day he arrested Maya Dalton. Maya wasn't from Glendale. She had just moved into town a few weeks earlier, working quietly as a federal consultant in cyber defense. No one knew what she did exactly, and that was by design. Her resume was classified, her background checks way above local clearance. But to Brent, she was just another black woman driving a car he didn't think she could afford. The stop started with routine questioning, but quickly escalated. Maya knew her rights. Brent didn't care. By the end of the encounter, she was arrested for resisting arrest, her laptop seized, and her body slammed against the hood of her own car, caught on a bystander's shaky cell phone footage. Brent didn't flinch. He'd handled worse. Cleanup would happen like always. But the moment Maya was fingerprinted and processed, flags started pinging across systems he couldn't access. Within 24 hours, 3 federal agencies had inquiries on her case. Within 48, the DOJ quietly reached out to Glendale PD, but Maya said nothing. She posted bail, dusted herself off, and chose to do one thing Brent wasn't ready. She sued him. Personally. When the court summons arrived, Brent laughed. Another angry woman with an attitude playing the race and gender card, he thought. He prepped like he always did, lying on charm, connections, and the thin blue wall of silence. But something felt different this time. The lawyers she brought weren't from some local firm. They were federal grade. The language in her lawsuit was surgical, detailed, and terrifying. And the courtroom she filed in, not Glendale. Federal court. Still, Brent showed up to court on the first day smug, badge gleaming under his polished chest. He expected immediate show and a quick dismissal. What he didn't expect was the woman in the navy blue suit who walked into that room not as a victim, but as a former major in military intelligence with clearance levels higher than the judge himself. Courtrooms have a sterile mix of old wood, recycled air, and quiet desperation. But the moment Maya stepped in, it shifted. She didn't come with an army. Just one briefcase, one calm expression, and a silence that unnerved even the most seasoned defense attorneys. Brent leaned toward his lawyer. "She's bluffing," he whispered. "Probably Googled some military stuff too. Scare us." But that illusion shattered the moment Maya was asked to verify her background on the stand. "State your occupation for the record." "I am Maya Dalton, former Major U.S. Army Military Intelligence Corps. Clearance level, Black, Echo. Currently serving as a federal cybersecurity consultant for the Department of Homeland Security and 3 undisclosed international agencies." The courtroom gasped. The judge adjusted his glasses. Brent's lawyer visibly stiffened. "Can you confirm your presence during Operation Redlock?" "I can confirm being deployed for that mission." The rest remains classified under Executive Order 13,526. The judge blinked. Brent's face turned pale. But Maya didn't gloat. She didn't yell. She simply presented the facts. Security footage from a federal cloud. Dashcam footage, mysteriously, erased but recovered. Medical records showing injuries consistent with assault. Her military service jacket, and then the witness, a teenager who had recorded the entire event from across the street, and was too afraid to come forward until Maya's legal team tracked him down. His footage, crystal clear. Brent, towering, yelling, slamming, Maya.com, hand raised, obeying orders, till she was thrown down. The courtroom watched in silence. Brent looked like a ghost, but Maya wasn't done. She unveiled the second phase, a detailed pattern of behavior. Over the last 8 years, Brent had at least 17 cases with similar complaints, all dismissed. But Maya had dug deeper. Every case, every complaint, she reconstructed them with a team of forensic analysts. Each time Brent abused his power, Maya showed how the system helped cover it. Her closing argument wasn't emotional, it was surgical. This is not a case about anger. It's about arrogance. Officer Holloway didn't just break the law. He believed he was the law. But let the record show, even badges have limits. And today, his end's here. Brent was no longer smiling. The media caught wind. News vans flooded the parking lot. Trended. Hashtag Major Maya. Hashtag check my rank. And hashtag badge of shame exploded across social media. Veterans groups, civil rights activists, and even ex-cops started speaking out. Brent's precinct went silent. Internal Affairs reopened files. Maya never once raised her voice. But the world was now shouting for her. The judge issued a scathing opinion. Not only did he allow the lawsuit to proceed, he referred Brent for criminal prosecution. Civil damages were awarded, millions, but worse than the money was the exposure. Brent's badge was stripped, his pension frozen, his name permanently etched into a growing list of disgraced officers who thought power was a shield. As reporters crowded her outside the courtroom, Maya said only one thing: justice isn't loud, it's precise, and sometimes it wears heels. She turned and walked off into the crowd, leaving behind a legacy far louder than any siren. Brent, meanwhile, sat alone in a courthouse stairwell, stunned. He had spent his career believing he was the hunter, but today, he learned the difference between prey and predator isn't uniform, it's rank. Asterisk, if you made it this far, you felt every twist. So hit subscribe now for more real, justice-driven stories that turn the world upside down. Every view, every share helps the truth hit harder.